Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be with you again today. Well, as you probably already know, today is September 11th, a date that for a lot of us is connected to loss, shock, sadness. It's a day that always reminds me that the most ordinary days can turn so quickly and life is precious. And it's exactly because life is precious and things change in a moment that I think the response of the two who walked on the road to Emmaus with Jesus is so important. I mean, look at the impact of Jesus's presence on these two followers. Luke 24:33 through 35 tells us, they got up and returned at once to Jerusalem. There they found the 11, the disciples of Jesus, and those with them assembled together and saying, "It's true, the Lord has risen and has appeared to Simon." Then the two told them what had happened on the way and how Jesus had been recognized by them when he broke the bread. Now remember, Luke 24:13 tells us that these two had just come from Jerusalem and that it's a 7-mile trip. So they made the probably 3-hour journey from Jerusalem to Emmaus. They sit down to have dinner with Jesus, who had sidled up to them on the walk to Emmaus. They realize it's Jesus. Jesus vanishes from their presence. They pack it up and hightail it. Luke said they returned at once, back 3 hours to Jerusalem. Now, I get annoyed enough when I forget something at home and have to turn around and make a 10-minute, depending on traffic, 30-minute drive. I mean, can you imagine these guys? But it seems like they're so excited, they did not mind one bit. In the sermon this last weekend, Renee challenged us to respond to our investigation of Jesus. And that's a challenge we really all need, because studying Jesus, exploring Jesus, isn't just to gain knowledge. If that head knowledge doesn't make it to our hearts and our actions, we have missed the whole point. These two followers didn't just hold on to the knowledge they had. Imagine all they had learned in what Jesus told them as they walked on the road. Once they knew it was Jesus, they told people. And I love the simplicity of what they share. They start with, "It's true." I mean, can you imagine their excitement? And then they say, "Jesus is alive." And I think as we wrap up this Investigating Jesus series, as we remember the events of September 11th and ponder the fleeting nature of life, these two followers are a good example for us. We need to be ready to share with others what we've learned and experienced with Jesus. And these two weren't fancy, like I said, but they were excited, they were willing to walk another 7 miles, and they were eager to encourage others. Let's ask Jesus today to make us ready, to fill us with that returned at once enthusiasm for telling others, it's true. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just share what you've learned and seen as you investigate Jesus. Blessings on your day, everyone, and I will see you in church this weekend.